Good morning. So this is the third of the 3 love readings that I'm doing today. This one is focused on those who are in it for the long haul. So I'm going to be doing the Pyramid of Love reading. And so the long haul, this is for the people who are in a committed long-term relationship. So I'm going to be talking about the feminine and masculine energies. Just please know that it doesn't have to correspond directly to a woman or a man. This is intended for all kinds of relationships. So just take whichever energy you resonate with to represent the different people in the relationship. So let's go ahead and get into it. And as always, use your own discrimination and intuition to interpret these messages. So for the overall energy, we have card number 34, plants, from the Green Oracle. So I'm going to read from the book on that. So we have a tree, a bush, a flower, and a mushroom arranged around a sleeping fairy. So she's asleep. Plants are what we most commonly associate with nature. Unlike animals, plants are usually very passive. They focus on being there or just being rather than acting or doing. Even so, we must remember that plants are responsible for the oxygen in the air we breathe. The environment is not just a pretty thing nice to have or purely decorative. The environment is what allows us to live. So, additional meanings. Give attention to the background. You need life to live. And what is around you affects you and others, even if you don't notice. And presence does not need action. Okay. So let's get into the energies. So the feminine energy that she's bringing to the situation is the 4 of Stones, which in this deck is called Protection. This is the Wildwood Tarot, by the way. This is interesting. So the masculine energy that he's bringing to the situation is card number 3, the Green Woman, which is actually the divine feminine energy. So I feel like he's desiring the divine feminine in his life. That's pretty cool. So the feminine energy towards the masculine is the 9 of Arrows, which in this deck stands for dedication, which is sweet. Because in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, this card depicts a woman who's waking up in the middle of the night and can't sleep. She's got insomnia. She's having bad dreams. She's got her head in her hands because she's crying. So this is a much different vibe in the Wildwood deck. Dedication. And then the masculine's energy towards the feminine is the Page of Vessels, the otter. Oh my gosh, that's kind of cute. Okay, let's keep going. So the passing energy is the 5 of Arrows, or frustration. And then the current energy is the King of Arrows, the Kingfisher. And then the coming energy is the 6 of Arrows, transition. Wow. So at the very top, we've got card number 16, the Blasted Oak. This is the Tower card. And this is falling in it could be perceived as the outcome I usually like to think of it as more of the guidance card at the very top. Wow. Okay. Well, down here, I feel like the masculine's feelings towards the feminine are very sweet. Like Page of Vessels is about this innocent love, and he's looking towards her with this love in his eyes, and he's desiring this higher bond with the divine feminine. It's like he's seeking that. But she's a little bit more closed off. Like she has this protection energy. Like she's a little baby deer trying to protect herself. And she's got a lot of hope. She may feel protected in this connection. She may feel safe. But she's kind of got a little bit of a wall built around her, literally. And she's dedicated. But you can see she's sort of, she's got this invisible force field around her that's turning these arrows to go the other way. So a lot of energy is coming her way, and she's sort of deflecting it and protecting herself. It's kind of interesting. So I feel like the masculine's trying to connect with her, and everything's okay, everything's calm, but she's sort of a little closed off. We can get some more clarification on that later. So the passing energy is the 5 of Arrows, or frustration. So this is about that elusive prey that you're trying to catch, and there's a need here to keep a steady hand. You have to relax in order to be able to let the arrow fly straight. So I feel like something's been learned from that, and we're getting the King of Arrows, the Kingfisher, who sees what he wants in the water and dives down to get it. I don't know. There's sort of an energy that like the masculine's hasn't been getting what he wants. I think it's led to some frustration. He's still seeking it though. And then the 6 of Arrows is coming in. We've got all arrows on this 3rd row, so a lot of thoughts. A lot of this is up in the head. So the 6 of Arrows is transition. So it's about adjusting the sails and sailing into calmer waters. Sailing away from frustration into calmer waters. It could be a change in direction as well. But up here at the top, this isn't calm at all. This is the Tower card. So sometimes this could mean a breakup. I don't want you to go, break up with your long haul partner just because you watched this reading. I don't necessarily think that that's the guidance here. But it's something to be on the lookout for, like big changes. In this deck too, the Blasted Oak is also sort of similar. It's the Tower card, but it's also sort of similar to the Hanged Man card. This man was hanging upside down from a tree branch when lightning struck the branch and knocked him down. So it's like he was deep in thought and meditation, trying to stay calm, step back from the situation. just taking some time to just be. That's what the plants card was talking about. And then he kind of got knocked out of it. Nature had other plans. So sometimes circumstances outside of our control come in and we've got to deal with them. And part of a long haul relationship is that you have to keep dealing with those things throughout life. To keep working on them. Okay, so let's get some clarification from the Rider-Waite. And I want to know a little bit more about the feminine energy here. And what is this wall that she has up? Wow, the Six of Swords came up. Six of Arrows is the Six of Swords. So she's definitely recovering from something, trying to move to calmer waters. What is this? What's the frustration about that's in the past? Okay, this came up in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles. So this could have something to do with a work situation too. Like maybe one of the partners is working too hard or losing themselves in their job. And I'm not sure which one that is, if it's the masculine or the feminine, but I feel like that might be playing a role here. I'm going to get a little more information. The Star. So there's been some healing happening. I think that there's something that one or both of them are hoping for or longing for that's leading to some sort of frustration because they're having a hard time getting what they're longing for. I'm going to get a little more information on the current energy with this King of Arrows. Okay. The High Priestess. Wow, and it fell right on top of the feminine energy stack over here. And so this is really making me feel like this King of Arrows is trying to break through. Like the King of Arrows is it's reminding me of the masculine energy and that he's trying to break through and communicate, but she's holding him off. She's got this wall up. She's got some secrets. Okay, let's clarify this future energy. Ace of Pentacles coming in. Yeah, so I think that's about seeking stability. Again, the Pentacles, the work situation could be involved here. You know, times are tough all around these days, so financial problems could be at play here. There could also be a longing to travel. You know, perhaps the feminine has this longing to go somewhere, to get out of the house. You know, cabin fever at play as well. I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious that right now during the pandemic, financial concerns and cabin fever are issues that everyone's dealing with. So let's get a little bit of clarification on this Blasted Oak card. Wheel of Fortune, wow. Big changes, again, Wheel of Fortune is about big changes, and so is the Blasted Oak. But one thing I do want to say, though, is that sometimes this Tower card, you know, it's usually like a really difficult change. It's not easy to go through, but it's almost always for the best. So it could mean that something big's going to happen that's going to kind of reignite the passion between these two. And because the Tower can also mean that, like, an explosion of passion. So there could be something big that happens soon, a big change that's going to move their lives in a more positive direction, and maybe break down this little tower that the feminine has built around herself. Okay, so let's get some quotes. This one came up in some of the other readings today too. When you have a brush in your hand, inking a beautiful woman is a lot like running your hands over her. Frank Miller. So I definitely feel like the divine masculine has this on his mind, like he's seeing her beauty and thinking about her all the time, you know, how beautiful she is to him. But it's almost like she's out of reach. Let's see. No matter how much you've sinned, no matter how much you've stumbled, no matter how much you fall, no matter how far you've got from God, don't give up. You can still be redeemed. As someone says, keep the faith. Oh, Johnny Cash. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, let's see what we get from the bag full of quotes by women. Well, 2 came out. We've got, I'd rather regret the things I've done than regret the things I haven't done. Lucille Ball. And then, Haas, if you can't do it with feeling, don't. Patsy Cline. So I feel like the feminine's needing more here. Like she's got this yearning to go see new things, new places, and she's longing for more passion in her life. Haas, if you can't do it with feeling, don't. So she's needing something from him too. And I hope she hasn't done something that she regrets. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get some guidance from the goddesses. Oh, wow. So it's interesting. We just had a full moon last night, I believe, and we have two moon goddesses here. Chang-O, Queen of the Moon. Celebrate your femininity with pride. And Mama Kila. Just as the moon changes over time, so will your situation. So, I think that this feminine is actually longing for change. She might be longing for this to come in, the wheel and the blasted oak. I think she's feeling stuck. And needing something to shake up her life. And then we have Hecate, the goddess of fertility. Fertility surrounds you in numerous forms. Open your eyes. So life is everywhere. And for some folks, fertility could be an issue as well. The High Priestess is about fertility, and so is the Green Woman. I'm going to read more about Hecate in just a minute. I also wanted to mention that we have Fortuna, the goddess of fortune. Believe in your good fortune, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So there's some good luck coming on the way, good changes, and it could have to do with money. It could have to do with fertility. I want to read about Hecate. The Egyptian goddess Hecate was considered the benign embodiment of fertility itself. As such, she was closely associated with the Nile River, whose waters helped to nurture crops planted along its fertile banks. Hecate is usually represented with the head of a frog, because the banks of the Nile are overrun with millions of these amphibians after it floods. She was also honored as the goddess of childbirth. Not surprisingly, her priestesses were also trained as midwives. Though fertility is usually associated with the physical manifestation of life, it is more than that. It is life itself. Fertility surrounds us, offering us inspiration and energy. The goddess Hecate suggests the proliferation of this expansive force. Okay. And then I also want to read from the Wildwood Tarot book about the blasted oak. Just want to see if there's any more guidance from the book that could be helpful here. Okay. What appears to be a random dissolution or destruction of your beliefs and relationships is timely and natural. The sea swallows what was built on shifting sand, and you are liberated from being a powerless victim. Now you have a base on which your inner strength can adapt and evolve. This may happen suddenly with shocking speed. The trauma may leave you stunned and confused, but the fiery blast that sent you falling to earth has also jolted you from a state of trance that allowed you to avoid dealing with profound and fundamental issues. Don't be angry or bitter at this passing, for whatever has gone never really belonged to you. Be patient, wait, and learn from the process of loss. Even as we fall, the power that floods our senses with pain also cleanses and burns away the illusions and falsehoods. As our hands reach for the stable earth, the power grounds itself through us. Our senses are alive with the heat of life. Our emotions are ablaze with passion. Perhaps we had forgotten the intensity of desire, the need to keep struggling for understanding. The essence of true strength and enduring spirit cannot be bought with gold or position or grandiose esoteric theory. It is found in the ashes and flames of nature's own wild card. So the blasted oak can wake us up to what we're deeply desiring in our life. Maybe we've just been sleeping for too long. All right, well, I hope that you guys have a good weekend, and I'll touch base with y'all again next week.